peaches! So today's video is going to be kind of different from what I usually do. I usually don't talk about big things like this. And I was also kind of on the edge about whether I want to talk about this or not, because it is a big thing and there's a lot of misconceptions about it. And also I kind of feared that I might lose some, well, either lose some subscribers and stuff like that, but also scared to lose some friends and family and people that I know around me because of this. But I was also like, you know, who gives a fuck? You know, I want to make this because just to talk about it and to tell you guys how it is. And if there are some people that don't want to talk to me anymore because of this, then that's their problem. I'm pretty awesome, and then they'll just be missing out on something pretty awesome. So it's not, I don't really give a fuck. But yeah, it did take me a while to kind of build up the courage to make this, because it did kind of freak me out a little bit. Also because it is very new to me too, and there's a lot of misconceptions. So before making this video, please, I just want to say that please keep an open mind to this. Please, you don't have to watch the entire video because I think it's going to be kind of long. Pretty long maybe, I don't know. But please watch as much as you can. Don't leave any negative judgmental comments. If you do, I will delete them, because I can do whatever I want on my video. So if you leave a comment that I don't like, then I will delete it. And that counts for both, with like negative, just like, oh you're fucking something something, you know, very negative comments, but also to stuff like if Christian people come and write something like, oh I will pray for you and you need to find Jesus and I feel so sorry for you, stuff like that, I will delete that shit too, because I don't need that. I know what I need, and Jesus is not what I need. Last thing I want to say before we start really is that I'm not trying to convince you anything. Like, I'm not trying to say that I think you need to become a Satanist and stuff like that. I'm just saying I'm making this video because I wanted to share with you what it is and how I do it and stuff like that. I'm not trying to convince anyone to be anything or do anything that they don't want to. This is just info for you guys, and then you can do whatever you want with it. If you want to forget it for the rest of your life, that's fine. If you want to become a Satanist, that's cool as well. Do what you want. But yeah, as you can hear from the title and also a little bit from what I already said, this video is about Satanism, because I am a Satanist. It's not really always positive response I get. Now, I haven't been a Satanist for a long time. It's kind of new to me as well. But still, the few people I've told were always like kind of frightened in a way, needed to hear what it was, because there is a lot of misconceptions. But I just firstly want to clarify that I am not a bad person. I don't break the law in any way, I never have. I don't kill babies or goats and sacrifice their blood to Satan. I don't even believe that Satan exists. A lot of people don't do that even though they're Satanists. I'll get into that a little more later in this video. But yeah, I don't even believe he exists. It's just a way of living in a way, and it's called a religion for some reasons. I don't know what it takes for something to be a religion, but it's fine. I'll call it my religion because it's what it is and it's what people call it. And my shirt is very appropriate for today. I didn't even realize that before I sat down and had to make this video. It's pretty satanic, but that's awesome. I'm ready. I have this baby with me right here that I'm going to read some stuff from. I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen in this video, because I think it's going to be long. So just stay with me just for a few more minutes and then you can do what you want. I have the Satanic Bible by Anton Chandor LaVey. Pronunciations, I'm not good with names. And I put some notes in there because there's some things and quotes that I want to talk about in here. And I thought this would be the best book to talk about Satanism about, because as I said, I'm pretty new to it, so I'm not like I know everything just remembering it. Kind of just following this bad boy right here, because this is pretty much all you need. I think it's going to be a very long video, so I'm going to part it up in chapters in a way. I'm going to just make this one video, but in the description box down below I will leave time notes, kind of an chapter thing, so you can press on 1 minute and 30 seconds, for example, and then you will get to a part where I talk about some specific things there. So I'll do that so you can kind of skip ahead and just hear about the things you want to hear about, so you don't have to watch the entire video. So yeah, going to do that and use this amazing book as a reference for pretty much everything that I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to make this video a Christian versus Satanist, but it is pretty much opposite of each other, so I can't make this video without talking about Christianity just a little bit. Because it does have a lot of things to do with each other, obviously. But I'm not going to hate on any Christians. You can do what you want. I personally don't understand Christians, but that's just my opinion. I also just want to say that a lot of people think that Christians and Satanists are just like this, like we can't talk to each other or anything. That's not true. I know a lot of Christian people who are some of the greatest people I know. My uncle, for example, he's a priest in a Christian church. And he's one of my favorite people ever. So I love him very much, and I have a lot of friends and other family that are just amazing Christian people. So don't think that if you are Christian and you find out some of your friends are Satanists, or if you're one of my friends who found out that I'm a Satanist, please don't hate me. I'm still a good person. I'm still the same as I was before. I just found something to call myself. I haven't changed my personality, I haven't changed my world view. I just found a title to give myself in a way. Before I was just running around calling myself nothing, but now I have this. So I want to say that I used to be a Christian. I grew up with a very Christian dad, just going to church, a lot of different kinds of church, and it was fun, and I grew up in that environment, so I know a lot about it. So all those Christian people, if there are anyone out there who's hate on me and be like, oh, you just need to find Jesus and you don't know what it is to be a Christian, but yeah, I do, because until I was like 17 years old, I thought that I was Christian. Maybe I have been sometimes, maybe it was just because it was those people I hung out with. It was that environment I was in, it was that way I was brought up from my dad's side at least. So maybe I just thought that I was Christian. Because I remember, thinking back, I remember there was a lot of times where I was like, I don't think that makes sense, even though it was like, people like, oh, Christian people do this, and I was like, why do we do that? That's stupid, you know? But I always thought I was Christian. Don't text me. So I know what it is to be in that environment. Just quickly want to say that. So yeah, first of all, I don't believe in Satan, as I said. A lot of Satanists don't do that. There are some who does it. There are like two different parts of Satanism. I don't know much about the other one because I don't really care about the other one because I'm not into that. I'm more focused on my own and my own life with this. But we don't believe it. We believe that it's like, not that he exists, like people believe in God and people believe in Buddha and stuff like that. We don't believe in Satan like he is an actual thing, person, devil thing. We believe that he's kind of like us in a way, that he is human. He's a symbol for the human nature and the human desires that we all have and all need to fulfill. And those human desires are what Christian people call sins. I'm just going to quickly talk about the 11 Satanic Rules of the Earth. I'm not going too much into them, just explaining them. I want to say before starting, I agree with all of these. The first one is, do not give opinions or advice unless you are asked. Second is, do not tell your troubles to others unless you are sure they want to hear them. Third, when in another's home, show them respect or else do not go there. Fourth is, if a guest in your home annoys you, treat them cruelly and without mercy. 5. Do not make sexual advances unless you are giving the mating signal. And I just want to note that. That's very important, because a lot of people misconceptions about Satanists is that we're just crazy sex freaks who go out and rape people and stuff, but it clearly states in our rules that please don't fuck anyone who doesn't want to fuck you. So yeah. Number 6 is, do not take that which does not belong to you unless it is a burden to the other person and they cry out to be relieved. Again, a lot of misconceptions about Satanists just doing all sorts, like stealing and doing what they want and being just breaking the law and stuff. It again says in our rules, you're not allowed to do that. Don't do anything stupid, please. Number 7 is acknowledge the power of magic if you have employed it successfully to obtain your desires. If you deny the power of magic after having called upon it with success, you will lose all you have obtained. That is more to like the ritual part of it, which I will not get too much into in this video. Number 8 is do not complain about anything to which you need not subject yourself. 9, do not harm young children, and 10, do not kill non-human animals unless you are attacked or for your food. Those two also very important to misconceptions, because misconceptions about Satanists that I also had before getting into it, I just want to clarify that, is that Satanists kill babies and kill animals and sacrifice them to Satan. I thought that as well, and for some reason it's a really big misconception, but it says so in our rules that we can't do that. So yeah, please don't think that we do that, because it's in our rules that we don't do that. And I think that if you break one of these rules, or maybe several of them, then you cannot call yourself a Satanist. Like, it's just wrong. Then you're not a real Satanist. So yeah, there are obviously people who call themselves Satanists who does these things, but that's because they're not real Satanists in my eyes, at least, and they're the one who gives us a very bad reputation. So yeah, let's move on to the last one, because I love this. It's amazing, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Number 11, the last one, is when walking in open territory, bother no one. If someone bothers you, ask them to stop. If they do not stop, destroy them. And I can totally relate to that. It makes so much sense to me and to my life, because that's very opposite of the whole turn the other cheek thing that is in the Bible. Because I never understood that. Like, if someone punches me in the face and I just brush it off and walk away, then they're going to continue to do that, because humans are fucking assholes. But if I punch them back and punch them even harder than they did, then there is a slight chance that they will stop and never touch me again. So I never understood the turn the other cheek thing. I think revenge is the way to go. It sounds very dramatic, but I really do. Also because then I get the anger out, you know? Instead of, if someone punches me and I walk home and just ignore them, then I'm going to be angry and sad and just annoyed, and I will accidentally take it out on all the wrong persons. Instead of just getting it over with, just punching that dude in the face or talk back to him or something, whatever it is. It's not just with physical abuse, it also is if someone says something to you or something like that. So those are kind of the rules of We also have some 9 satanic sins, and I'm going to get into right in like a couple seconds. I'm just going to talk about the Christian sins, like the 7 deadly sins according to Christianity, because they have a lot to do with Satanism, because Satanism is the opposite of Christianity, pretty much. So the 7 deadly sins are lust, gluttony, pronunciations, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. And those are all things that all human feel and all human do and all human, you know, it's human. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're such an animal if you feel all these things. But yeah, human are sort of an animal in a way. Obviously not all Christians follow these sins. I know that. I know a lot of Christians who doesn't follow these sins. But it is kind of the whole foundation of Christianity, so yeah, there's that. And then I'm going to read the 9 satanic sins or satanic statements. It says so in the book here, just to kind of compare it in a way, because I think, and all other Satanists think, that those 7 deadly sins are absolutely bullshit, because it's kind of in our human nature to feel those things and do those things. So yeah, that's kind of the whole base of Satanism, is that it's natural. Everyone feels those things. Everyone feels lust and envy and greed and anger and stuff like that. So why should we be ashamed of it? But yeah, going to read the 9 satanic statements or satanic sins. Quickly want to say before doing this, I'm not from America. English is not my first language. So there's some words that I don't know how to pronounce, but I'll write it on the screen so you can read it yourself. And yeah. Number 1, Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Number 2, Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams. Number 3, Satan represents undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. Number 4, Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. Number 5, Satan represents vengeance instead of turning the other cheek. Number 6, Satan represents responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for the psychic vampires. Number 7, Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who because of his divine spiritual and intellectual development has become the most vicious animal of them all. Number 8, Satan represents all of the so-called sins as they all lead to physical, mental, or emotional gratification. Number 9, the last one, Satan has been the best friend of the church has ever had, as he had kept it busy for all these years. Those are the 9 satanic statements. I'm not going to get too much into them right now because it's kind of what this book is about, so slowly getting into it. But you know, as it says here, he represents all the so-called sins, which again, as I said, we don't believe in Satan. We believe that Satan represents something and represents like what humans actually are and what we feel like. I think that as far as I understood and far as I do it in my life, Satanism, is that Satan to me represents everyone. Like, you're Satan, I'm Satan. Yay, we all Satan. But like, because we all have those feelings, we all have those deadly sins, lust, envy, anger, greed, or whatever it was. I don't remember them, I don't care. But yeah, we all have those feelings and we all need to get them out, as it says so, because it leads to physical, mental, or emotional gratification. Like, we get happy if we do something of these things, as long as it doesn't hurt others, obviously. So yeah, that's kind of the base. Now I'm going to get a little more into it, into details, and into quotes and these beautiful heart-shaped post-it notes I have in this book. So yeah, just going to do that, going to get started. So in the Satanic Bible there are these called the Book of Satan, and it's these quotes in a way. It's written very old-fashioned compared to the rest of the book, because I think it is quotes from older things. I don't really know, it doesn't say so, but I think a lot of these make sense to what it is. So I'm just going to read some of them out. I request reason for your golden rule and ask the why and therefore of your 10 commands. Again, why do we need these 7 deadly sins or 10 rules or whatever Christian people do? Like, if we all feel that way and if we all do those things, why do we need to have them as rules? It's stupid, because it's natural. I break away from all convention that do not lead to my earthly success and happiness. Again, we don't give a fuck about your sins. I do what I want if it makes me happy, as long as it doesn't hurt others. Love one another, it has been said in the supreme law, but what power made it so? Upon what rational authority does the gospel of love rest? Can the torn and bloody victim love the blood-splashed jaws that rent him limb from limb? Love your enemy and do good to them that hate and use you. Is this not the despicable philosophy of the spaniel that rolls upon its back when kicked? Hate your enemies with a whole heart, and if a man smite you on the cheek, smash him on the other. Smite him hip and thigh, for self-preservation is the highest law. He who turns the other cheek is a cowardly dog. That is again with the whole love your enemy, turn the other cheek. Why should I do that? It's just, and also because Marilyn Manson had a really great quote that I'm going to put in here because I don't remember it, I couldn't find it right now. If I can find it, I'll leave it just right here on the screen. It's amazing, I really love it. I don't know, like, it makes just a lot of sense. Why would I waste my love on people that I hate when I could spend it on people that I actually love and care about? And that's what this whole thing is about. I mean, I know a lot of, like, in Christianity it is love thy enemy, but why? Why should I do that? Why should I be better than them? I don't want to be better than them. I really don't give a fuck if I'm better than them. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Life is a great indulgence, death the great abstinence. Therefore make the most of life here and now. There is no heaven of glory bright, and no hell where sinners roast. Here and now is our day of torment. Here and now is our day of joy. Here and now is our opportunity. Choose ye this day, this hour, for no redeemer liveth. And that is just the whole thing, like, live in the moment. Don't be scared of what's going to happen when you die. And that's something I never understood, is people like, oh, we have to be good in this life and don't do what you want to because you'll burn in hell. I think you will burn in hell. I don't really know because there's no scientific proof of anything, and I just something that I believe. You know, it doesn't make sense to me that people do everything they can to be good in this life and don't do what they want to, just because they think that there might be a chance that they'll burn in hell forever. And I know that sucks. The thought of it sucks. But why do people think that? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And that is what this is about. Live in the moment. Do what you want. Screw those 7 deadly sins, because you don't know if they're actually sins or just something that some freak made up 1,000 years ago. Or I don't know how many years ago. So that is kind of the base of Satanism, is to just do what you want as long as it doesn't hurt others. That's a big thing that you have to remember. Don't hurt others. As it says in the rules, don't kill babies or children or animals. Don't harm them. Don't have sex with someone who doesn't want to. Stuff like that. So do what you want as long as it doesn't hurt any other people in some way. Then there's also a lot in this book, and I really wanted to get kind of a quote from this book on this, but it's kind of difficult where it starts and begins, and I would have to read the entire chapter if I want to get all this right and correctly. So I'm just going to talk about it a little bit. It's about the whole Christianity thing, because as I said before, a lot of Christians, my light is stupid, it's just a second, sorry. A lot of Christians, don't follow these rules. They don't do these things, and they're like, oh, I'm a modern kind of Christian, I don't do these. But it's like, I personally don't understand why you can call yourself Christian, since these are the things that kind of built up the whole Christianity thing. But yeah, that's just my opinion. There's a lot about it in this book, so if you want to read a little more about it from a great man who wrote this book, then find this book. It's amazing. But it's just a little bit about why I call it that. And a lot of Christians are like, oh, well, we also have sex before marriage, and we also just do what we want as long as it doesn't hurt others. Well, then why not just call it as it is and call yourself Satanist? Because that is what it is. That's what Satanism is about. It's about doing what you want as long as it doesn't hurt others, and following these rules in a way. And if you do that, then you are a Satanist. I'm not trying to, as I said, I'm not trying to convince you of anything, but it's just, I heard a lot of Christian people saying these things like, oh, but I don't follow those kind of rules because they're old school. But if that is what your religion is about, then why do you support your religion by calling yourself a Christian if you don't even follow the rules, and if you think some of the rules are stupid? Why do you support it by saying that you are a Christian? That, I don't get that. If I wouldn't call myself a Satanist if half of these things I was like, oh, that doesn't make sense and that's just stupid. I wouldn't call myself a Satanist. But a lot of Christians do that, which I don't understand. Then there's another thing. It's also about the whole believing in Satan thing. A lot of people think that we sell our soul to Satan in effort, and that's also what terrified me. Like, I was afraid, just like a year ago maybe, I was so scared to even Google the word Satanism because I thought that things would happen. But it's the whole thing about this, like, we don't sell our souls because we don't believe in Satan. But there's something about it here that I want to read. To become a Satanist, it is unnecessary to sell your soul to the devil or to make a pact with Satan. This threat was devised by Christianity to terrorize people so they would not stray from the fold. With scolding fingers and trembling voices, they taught their followers that if they gave into the temptations of Satan and lived their lives according to their natural predilections, they would have to pay for their sinful pleasures by giving their souls to Satan and suffering in hell for all eternity. People were led to believe that a pure soul was a passport to everlasting life. That's just about that. We don't sell our souls with Satan. It is something that Christianity has taught us in a way. Especially because we don't believe in Satan. I don't fear Satan because I don't believe in him. So the last thing I want to get just a little bit into, not too much, is a chapter called Satanic Sex. Because there is a lot of misconceptions about Satanists and sex. A lot of people think that we are sex freaks who just go out and have orgies all the time, which is not what it is about. But also a lot of Satanists, new Satanists, think this, and they're like, oh, I like sex, I like having sex with 10 people at once, I'm a Satanist, you know, and that's just very sad, because that's not what it's about. Satanists really believe in the term free sex, but we don't believe it as a lot of people think it is. A lot of people, when they hear the word free sex, they automatically think of, like, again, orgies and just 1,000 people banging at one place, and that's not what it means. Free sex means do what the fuck you want, as long as it doesn't hurt others. And it says so in this Bible here that if you are asexual, you can still be Satanist. If you're bisexual, if you're like to have sex with 1,000 people at once, if you only want to do it with one people for the rest of your life, that's fine. Do what you want as long as it doesn't hurt others. And just be open to your partner or partners and stuff like that about what you want and what you do and stuff like that, so that way it doesn't hurt others. And if you like to go out and cheat on your wife, then tell her. Like, let her know in a way that you can't be bound to just one person, because that will be hurting others if you just go out and do that. If she doesn't know, or he doesn't know. So it is what the word is, free sex. Do what you want. Don't hurt others though. And I think that's very important, because a lot of people think, like, have misconceptions about it. When I tell people that I'm a Satanist, people right away think that, oh, I must be into some really freaky shit, but I'm not. People just think that because they think that Satanists are these sex freaks who do everything and get pleasure from anything or everything, which is not true. We just believe that do what you want as often as you want, as long as it doesn't hurt others, because it is one of the deadly sins, is lust, which is just insane to me, because, well, one thing is if the deadly sin was sex, because, alright, you can go your entire life without doing that, but you can't go your entire life without feeling lust at some point, in some way, because it's human and we all do it. So that's like the most crazy, deadly sin to me. It's the lust part, because I'm like, really? And also because it's what we have to do to continue the human race. Like, if you don't do it, we're going to die, all of us, and we're going to extinct. And also because there are so many things about it. There's almost only good things about sex and stuff like that. So that some people still think that it's a sin, it's beyond me. I don't understand it. The last thing I want to say about this book, and compared to the Christian Bible, is something that I read on the Facebook group, the Church of Satan. Was like a conversation that was there. Someone asking why they believe that Christian Bible could be misunderstood words, but the Satanic Bible couldn't. And that is because there was someone else who wrote this, and it's so true. The Christian Bible was written many years ago by many different people in different languages, in very old language writing, so having to translate it, and it has been translated so many times over the years, so there's obviously a lot of things that can be misunderstood, because it is so old and weird, and there's a lot of different people who wrote this. I can feel that I can't talk anymore, but let me just finish this. The Satanic Bible obviously can be misunderstood, because everything in this world can be misunderstood, but the Satanic Bible is a lot more difficult to misunderstand than the Christian Bible is, because this was written by one man only, who had one opinion, or it was only his opinion, and it was written for not that many years ago. Let me just check it actually exactly what year it was written. 1969. By Anton Gendor Lave. Words. But yeah, December 1969, this was written. So that is some years ago, but it's not like thousands of years ago. It's written in what I would say modern language, because 69 is not that long ago. So that's why this is way harder to misunderstand than the Christian Bible is. But yeah, just quickly wanted to get that in there as well, because I thought it was pretty brilliant. So that was actually the video for today. Oh my god, I have a lot of editing to do. And I really hope that you guys don't think any worse of me. I don't know if you do. But now it's out there. I'm really happy that I made this video. I can feel it now, because some of you guys might have learned a lot of things in a good way, like learned what it actually is. So I hope that I help you guys maybe with something. Maybe you're just curious, I don't know, but then I help you as well, I guess. So yeah, battery running low, my light is hating me right now, and I had all what I had to say. I'm thinking about doing some more videos about Satanism. If you want to, please let me know down in the description down below, or in the comments down below, if you have any suggestions to any videos I can make about this subject, anything you want to see. Press the like button if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and thank you for watching.